We've lived here a long time and we've had lots of hospital trips. I don't even like to think about it, how many times we've been there. My family is my life. It truly is, truly is, truly is, truly is. We have never had a bad experience with Kaweah Delta, ever. When my son was born, my youngest, within the first week or two, the poor child had a strangulated hernia. They got him right in emergency surgery at Kaweah Delta. The recovery nurse recognized that he needed some warmth from his mama. So they came out in the waiting room and they brought me back into the recovery room so I could hold him so that he could regain the warmth that he needed to bring his body back to normal. That's caring to me. They cared about him. They wanted him to feel comfortable. And so they brought in his mom. When my father-in-law passed, he was laying in his hospital bed and they knew that the end was near. I don't know how many people were there. Grandkids, kids, brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, all gathered around for that final moment. And the nurses, they just let us stay. And I'm not making this up in any way. I just think the staff at Kaweah Delta have just been extremely compassionate, caring, and understanding. Well, I discovered a lump in my breast in 2004. So I went to the doctor, obviously, and I had him check it out. So he sent me over for a biopsy with the surgeon. Came back malignant, so we went in and did a complete modified radical mastectomy. Everything went fine. However, they still wanted me to go through chemotherapy. About that same time, my daughter, who was living in Oregon, had a stillborn, full-term stillborn, and was trying to get through that. And then maybe a month after that, she got really sick. She had postpartum depression really bad. She had a seizure. The paramedics got there. She had probably been without oxygen for, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe, but they did revive her. They went ahead and air flighted her to one of the hospitals. She stayed there for a week while they ran all these tests, and they eventually called her brain dead. So she passed away. When that happened, of course, I was going through chemo and the doctor didn't want me to go. So my daughter-in-law, my oldest son's wife, and her nephew drove up and picked up these three beautiful girls and brought them home with just the clothes on their back. So as you can see, everything else was happening during this time, and so I don't remember much about the chemo. It was more dealing with our grief. But one thing I did want to share is Sequoia Regional Cancer Center, I think, is affiliated with the hospital. And they didn't know who I was. They didn't know me, but they heard while I was going through chemo that my daughter was extremely ill and was probably going to pass away, that the girls were coming to live with us. So all their staff got together and put together a bunch of toys. The girls were 18 months, 3 and 5. And they put all these toys together. And then people from my work put all these clothes together, so those children had everything they needed. It was just amazing to me to see how the community and the hospital all came together to support someone in need. They have this strong, I guess, desire to reach the community by the types of services that they provide. And the fact that we have used so many of those services, whether it be ER, whether it be surgeons, whether it be just regular doctor visits, whatever, I have always found that Kaweah Delta and their affiliates have always given that extra level of care. They definitely have integrated into our life because we've been there too many times. I would not be the person I am today without my family. They're just the center of my life, the absolute center of my life. and I love them a lot.